Before we start, could you just introduce yourself and your role here at SNHU?
Yes, my name is Kristin Regis, and I'm a Senior Associate Dean on the business team.
Welcome, Kristin. This is what we're calling SNHU Explains, and you are our accounting expert today. So to start off, what are some of the typical duties for someone working as an accountant?
So typical duties range from preparing and examining financial records, ensuring accuracy and compliance with the many laws and regulations, computing taxes and tax returns, organizing and maintaining financial documents, also analyzing financial operations and making recommendations, conducting audits, and preparing financial statements and reports for management. Those are some examples.
Great. And so what are some of the things about the accounting field that would be surprising for most people to learn?
I think they would be surprised to learn how many different career paths there are within the accounting field. You could be a traditional bookkeeper. Most of our businesses in the U.S. are small business. There's many small businesses, and they can use help maintaining their books. So the bookkeeping role is still a very popular one. And then that can also extend to interesting areas like forensic accounting. They also can do some financial analysis. So, a little bit of that accounting, finance flair. Consultants, law enforcement, and working for government. The government certainly needs public accountants as well.
I've actually, being in sort of the video and film world, also have read about accountants in the Hollywood in the video world, and that sounds pretty awesome too.
I mean, money is involved in almost everything we do, and when money's involved, then accounting's involved, and taxes are involved. So it is part of our day-to-day for sure. So I mentioned forensic accounting as an interesting career path within accounting. So let me just explain a little bit more what that does. You investigate financial discrepancies and fraud, typically work for law enforcement. You could be an environmental accountant focusing on cost savings and revenue generating environmental activities. That is one of the newer and more innovative fields in accounting. You could be an information technology auditor, assessing and verifying information technology systems and controls. That's very closely tied to data analytics and comfort using software. So that would be another popular area in accounting. And then one more that a lot of people don't think about, but is also very important, is a valuation analyst. We hear about companies merging, mergers, companies buying other companies, acquisitions, litigation and taxation, and the valuation analyst can help determine the value of a business.
So what are some common misconceptions about accounting and accounting degree programs?
Sure. A few that are common, I would say, is that it's boring. Some people might think that accounting is dull. I'm not one of those people. But it can be dynamic, working, like if you're a consultant or you have your own practice, working with a variety of industries. So you mentioned the movie industry. So if you have passion about accounting and you have a passion about something else, you could probably combine those passions. The industries that are not traditionally associated with accounting, intelligence, like CIA, global security, law enforcement, and foreign service. So that doesn't sound boring to me. So there are some exciting aspects to that. Other misconceptions is that it's only about numbers. Accountants need to have some comfort with numbers, but of course, with all of the technological tools available now, much of that can be done with us, with the human accountant overseeing and verifying the work. But accountants also need strong communication skills and problem-solving skills. Communicating data is another trait that is very important for successful accountants.
Can you earn an accounting degree online?
Yes, you can certainly earn an accounting degree online. And one of the great benefits about online learning is that it can be more flexible with your schedule if you are working, raising a family, have other commitments. You can do online learning and get exposed to everything you would, all of the knowledge needed to become a successful accountant.
How does SNHU's program differ from other accounting programs?
Our online approach, asynchronous approach, our extensive advising model to support our students from start to finish, our generous transfer credit policy. So a lot of what would differentiate our SNHU's accounting program from others is what differentiates Southern Hampshire University as a university from other higher education institutions. We do have experiential learning courses built into the program. So we do offer current content and a variety of experiences for our students.
Let's talk about accounting in general. So we'd like to talk about some different types of accountants. Can you describe the purpose of these specialties within the field, first being financial accounting?
So financial accounting, that involves preparing financial statements for external use by investors, creditors. Creditors are who you borrow money from, and regulators, the laws that we need to follow. Whereas managerial accounting has an internal focus. So it's reporting and gathering and analyzing and reporting financial information for internal use. So for your managers within your organization or your company, for them to help them with decision making. So financial accounting is done to meet external requirements, and managerial accounting is for strategic decision making within the organization.
What about tax accounting?
Tax accounting is a specialization in tax preparation, planning, and compliance with tax laws.
What about auditing?
Auditing involves examining financial records and statements to ensure that they are accurate and that they comply with the regulations.
Perfect. And forensic accounting, that sounds really interesting.
It does sound interesting. That involves investigating financial fraud and disputes, and their results are often used in legal proceedings.
And finally, government accounting, and how does it differ from accounting in the private sector?
Government accounting manages public funds, so that's revenue raised through taxes, and that a government accountant would ensure transparency and accountability in all government financial operations. It differs from the private sector accounting due to its focus on that public accountability and budget constraints.
So now we'd like to cover the differences and traits of different roles within the field, starting with a certified public accountant, which I'm assuming CPA, that's what that stands for, correct?
Yes, yep. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant, and these are licensed professionals who provide auditing, tax, and consulting services.
How about Chief Financial Officer?
That is a senior executive responsible for managing the financial actions of a company. So that would include a bit more than what we covered under accounting. That would include making investment decisions as well.
How about Internal Auditor?
An internal auditor would evaluate the effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and the governance processes.
Controller?
A controller oversees all accounting activities and ensures financial statements are accurate and compliant.
Tax Specialist?
A tax specialist focuses on tax compliance, planning, and strategy for individuals and businesses.
Management Accountant? Management
accountant, it's more of a strategic role, and a management accountant provides financial insights and analysis to help manage and optimize business operations.
Budget Analyst?
A budget analyst prepares budget reports and monitors organizational spending to ensure financial responsibility.
And finally, Financial Analyst?
A financial analyst analyzes financial data to help guide investment decisions and business strategies.
Great. Well, Kristin, that was all the questions I had. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we wrapped up?
No, I think that was pretty thorough.